I'm going to introduce someone that doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. We are honored and thrilled to have White House National Climate Advisor Gina McCarthy join us for a keynote this morning. Gina McCarthy was appointed by President Biden as the first White House National Climate Advisor. Previously, she served as President Obama's direct administrator of the EPA. Prior to that, she was at the state level at the Connecticut Department of Environmental Protection, where she was instrumental in developing the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative, and in multiple roles in Massachusetts, where she advised 5 governors on environmental affairs, worked at the state and local levels on environmental and energy issues. I'll just say from a Maine perspective, we were thrilled to have Advisor McCarthy help us kick off our Climate Council in 2020. We're incredibly honored to have her join us here. So please join me in welcoming White House National Climate Advisor Gina McCarthy to NASEO.
Thank you, Dan, for all of your terrific work and for the introduction. And please send my thanks to my good friend, Governor Mills, for all of her terrific leadership. You know, I'm excited to be speaking with all of you today. I wish I could have joined you in Portland. It's absolutely one of my favorite cities, but I'm looking forward to reuniting with you in person sometime soon. And it's just an honor to get to spend some time with state leaders, because both you and I know you've been doing such great work pioneering new efforts in clean energy and clean energy policy. And it's just incredibly important, more important now than ever, because many of you know I've had the pleasure of working with in a few states in New England, and I've served in both Democratic and Republican administrations. So I get that states are where so much of the action is. And I'm so grateful for you taking and playing such a leadership role in 4 years when the federal government wasn't playing that role. You know, all I know, and you know that much of the work that we do together really falls outside of the limelight. So the first thing I want to do is to thank you and encourage you to keep pushing on our climate and clean energy agenda. I want to thank you for your leadership in this transformation that is happening. I want you to celebrate it. I want to recommit with you and thank you for everything you've done to really achieve a resilient zero carbon electricity system in a way that's going to be affordable to all Americans. You know, as you know, this is a pivotal moment on climate action. Congress is moving forward with the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act and the Build Back Better reconciliation package. And I know that states, all of you, are closely following all the developments on the Hill. And that's because states are going to play such an important role in delivering on all of these promises so that we can build back better. It's in the legislation, for example, that the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act is intended to expand state energy programs with $500 million over the next 5 years to provide you with the resources you need to do your work. And it's going to bring state energy offices into the business of transmission and distribution planning so we can have smart grid buildouts that take advantage of your experience at your local level. It also funds new grid infrastructure that we know is essential to building a competitive and resilient economy. And it expands funding on weatherization assistance, LIHEAP, which is going to be so important, and energy efficiency block grants. And it's going to create a revolving loan fund to provide energy solutions for homes and for businesses. And it will absolutely accelerate electric vehicles and electric vehicle infrastructure with such clear and ambitious roles for every one of the states. So we're going to rely on you for much of the work that gets done, but hopefully this will be done in partnership with one another. And in parallel, The budget reconciliation package is progressing towards its final form, and it's going to include proposed initiatives such as Hope for Homes, which looks to provide critical funding to state energy efficiency programs. It's also going to fund new initiatives that will strengthen the resilience and competitiveness of our economy, like the Zero Emission Homes Program, the Clean Energy Payment Program, and support for EVs and EV infrastructure. You know, states obviously have a lot of skin in the game here, and that brings me to the second point I'd really like to make today. If there's one thing that we've learned from working on these issues, is that we can only move forward if we move forward together. And I really want to drive home the importance of our partnership. You know, when President Biden talks about whole of government effort to fight climate change, that includes states. We're not only working across every federal agency, but we're working to include you so that we can work together to bring about a more prosperous and a more just clean energy future. We know that to work together across all agencies, we have to be smart. And I just don't mean the usual suspects like DOE and EPA and DOT. I'm talking about an all hands on deck effort. And we're bringing in agencies that have really stayed on the sidelines up until now. But working together as one federal government will have to happen, because on the state side, we need to make it easier and more effective for you to work with us in all of our federal agencies. Since you're on the front lines, I want to invite you to let us know how we can improve all of these working relationships. And third, I just want to drive home that we need your continued ambition on all fronts. Working together with state legislatures and governor's offices, you've set the pace in so many ways with innovation and investments in local adaptation. You know, for example, the majority of Americans now live in places which have net zero targets. That's pretty cool. You all know how hard fought all of that effort was, and it really laid the foundation for all of us to tackle these issues on a national level. So as we continue our work to build back better as a nation, I just want to touch on a few areas where collaboration with the states is going to be critical, where federal resources and state actions add up together to really allow us to have some great success moving forward. Let's start with resilience and recovery. You know, in the face of increasingly powerful disasters and widespread extreme weather events, we have to better protect people and communities. And this means physical hardening to protect against possible impacts, to prevent outages, and to improve restoration times. And it means testing for vulnerabilities and mitigating risks when we identify those. And it means coordinating with our customers, with local governments and peer state agencies to provide the best prevention and response that we can. You know, in this administration, I'm proud that more than 20 federal agencies have developed climate adaptation and resilience plans. You can take a look at those because we want to integrate climate readiness across all of the operations of our agencies. And we have 5 interagency working groups that are focused increasingly on our country's resilience because of all the floods, the coastal threats, the droughts, the extreme heat, the wildfires. We are experiencing it all. People feel it, see it, and they expect all of us in government to respond to that. And that's what we're trying to do together. And next, let's focus on ways to advance our clean energy resources now, collectively. We need to start accelerating our investment in smart, ambitious deployment of clean energy resources already available to us today. This means clean energy standards to drive large-scale deployment. It means distributed energy programs, especially around solar and storage. And it means smart investments in EVs and EV infrastructure so that we can minimize the cost, we can optimize the service, And we can truly reach all communities, urban and rural. And we can't forget about buildings. We need a stronger focus on our built environment now, which means pushing for building codes that advance the energy performance, resilience, and safety of our new homes and our workspaces. It means building performance standards that raise the energy performance, resilience, and safety of existing buildings. And it means energy efficiency programs that save costs and improve comfort and reduce emissions in the buildings that have already been constructed. And it means electrification programs to do exactly the same, which is make sure that we take advantage of the cost-effective opportunities available to us today. Electrification is it. We also have to keep in mind that people have been facing this pandemic. They are exhausted. Many are afraid, and so many are hurting. So it's time to let folks know that the road to a clean energy future isn't about saving the planet. It's about saving us. It's about our people. It is truly about building back better. Catchy phrase. It's about how we grow jobs and how we provide economic opportunity for everyone. It's about our country winning the 21st century economy. This is not about sacrifice. This is about building a future that's going to provide opportunities for all of us. This is about building hope. Let's make sure our messaging matches that. You know, I know I've been saying this probably since the first day of the administration. And for all of you who have known me for a long time, I've been saying the same thing for a lot longer than that. But when President Biden talks about climate, thankfully, he talks about jobs. Let's take a page from his playbook, folks. If we go all in on building a clean energy future in smart ways, the ways that President Biden has demanded and my office is helping to deliver, we will be fueling, pun intended, good paying new jobs in clean energy growth industries and trades. We'll be ensuring equity in the access to these new jobs, including an opportunity to join a union and managing a fair transition for all workers. You know, I'm proud that our administration is all in supporting the economic revitalization of communities that have been so hard hit by coal mine and power plant closures. We want to ensure that protections and new job opportunities are available for these workers. We cannot leave any community or worker behind. That's why we've set up an interagency working group on coal and power plant communities. And we've already identified more than $1 billion to support that transition. And more will be coming as we finalize our Build Back Better package. And we're not leaving the challenge of environmental justice behind. It can never be an afterthought. Our administration, and I know many of your states, are now paying long overdue attention to ensuring justice and equity in the distribution of benefits from our climate and clean energy work. With our new Justice 40 initiative, we will be delivering to disadvantaged communities at least 40% of the overall benefits from our federal investments in climate and clean energy. We can do no less and should do more, because to us, justice means developing effective programs to reduce energy burden through smart assistance programs. It means reducing environmental burden by directly addressing pollution at its source, especially in the most affected communities. It means providing fair and affordable clean access to clean energy solutions, from electrification to community solar, and bringing those impacted to the table every step of the way so they can envision the future for themselves and their families, and we can deliver on that future. Lastly, let's all just acknowledge together that now is the time for increased ambition in our country and across the world. This is the decisive decade, and we need to act like it, embrace it, and squeeze it for all we can get. Look, I'm looking forward to joining many of you who I hope will be at COP26 in Glasgow in just a few weeks. Our administration is going to be there to show the world that the United States is back. We are serious and we are on track to deliver a clean energy future. And we need to use our energy and our commitments to really help rally the world to increase climate ambition and seize the opportunities that a clean energy future can bring. We have to go to COP, and we will, with strategies in hand to explain how we're going to make progress towards all of our climate goals. We're going to be leading initiatives like the Global Methane Pledge to advance a collective goal of reducing methane emissions 30% by 2030. We've launched this last month with the EU, and dozens of countries have already joined. And we're going to proudly boost our financial support to help less developed countries implement climate solutions and build resilience. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what we can accomplish in Glasgow, and I'm excited what the future brings. And a lot of that is due to you, and I know that. We have been working together, and you have never wavered in this partnership. Even when we have failed to deliver at the federal level, you have plugged forward in this effort to build a safer, more prosperous, and inclusive economy. We need to keep moving forward on this journey together. And I tell you, we are more committed than ever before to work with you and others to explain why this is not just necessary for climate, it is necessary for us to continue to grow and strengthen our democracy here in the United States and deliver for the people that we serve. So thank you for continuing all your work. Thanks for letting me join. It's terrific to know you're there, and we're going to keep working together for many years to come. We are on the cusp of a tremendous opportunity. I'm sure we can grab it together. Thank you.